Hello,
Hey there.
hello, hello. Welcome to
Hey.
our welcome to our fourth episode of Glasshouse Presents Throwing Stones. And we have a great show for you today with Joe Bennett, the amazing gentle giant, Joe Bennett. David, do you have anything to say about Joe?
Yeah, this is kind of wonderful for me. I understand that when when I first started dealing with Joe Bennett, he was the first ever Brazilian artist that I worked with. This goes back to late 19, early 1991 when I was at Innovation. And then when I resigned from Innovation to start Glasshouse Graphics, Joe Bennett was the first artist who was given a job with Glasshouse. He working on Green Hornet for Now comics. So this is kind of wonderful that in our first month of shows, Joe is with us to help launch our first month of shows. So let's make
Right?
this happen.
And we have a lot of fans here from actually Brazil. So
Oh,
yeah.
sweet.
Let's yeah, we got Wilson Levy here. Looking forward to the show with Master Joe Bennett. So all right. Welcome, Joe Bennett.
Hello, my friends. Good evening.
Oh, that voice. I love that voice. Uh,
How do
uh,
you do, my
uh,
friend?
We are
I
doing
am doing well. You know, when the only other time I have heard Joe Bennett's voice was in 1995 when I did my very first seminar on creating comics in Sao Paulo. And Joe was one of the many artists there. And
Yeah.
at the time, he couldn't speak a word of English. I couldn't speak a word of Portuguese. But Joe, besides being much bigger and stronger than I, is also much smarter. So he can speak English, but I can't speak Portuguese. So thank you,
Uh,
Joe.
uh, my friend, I don't know how to speak English too. Just a little, not too much.
so am I correct in thinking that is this your first English interview?
Yes, the first
Okay.
one. David is my first manager, so this is my first interview in English too.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
N-
Fantastic.
Now, now, Joe, you have only done what, one convention in the United States? Am I remembering correctly?
One time in US uh, was 20 years ago. One
Oh
time.
my gosh. Yeah. So,
I want
all the,
I want to go next year. I want to go next year. Let me see if
and you
you.
have to stay at my house.
Yes, yes, of course, of
I will do
course.
barbecue out here. You'll love it.
A lot of beers, please.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Lots of water too, because we are old guys. We need water.
We
That's
were
what I'm
talking about
drinking,
that.
water right now.
We were just talking about that jug. That's the biggest jug I've ever seen.
Well, Joe might be the biggest artist you have ever seen.
I think he is. Yes, he is.
But
Joe
but you've
said
got
that.
to go ahead.
Oh, I said Joe said his jug is filled with ambrosia.
Yes, ambrosia,
Yeah.
ambrosia.
But there's a reason Joe Bennett is so big, because he draws with so much talent and his storytelling has so much power that huge size is the only way that he can contain that much ability.
100%.
The true story is here in Amazon. Everything is big, so I'm big too. The trees are big. The rivers are big, so I'm a big artist too.
And
Just in size, not in talent, not in talent.
That works.
and you work out like 6 times a day, right?
What?
You work out 6 times a day.
No, just 2 hours. those 2 hours.
Oh my gosh. So, Joe, uh, let's talk a bit about your early career, how you got
Yeah.
started in Brazil, and then how your work found its way uh, to me and then to the American market.
Okay. I started in
So,
Brazil.
what do you remember?
What I remember, I remember everything. I started in Brazil. My first editor was Franco de Rosa. I don't know if you meet him here in Brazil. Franco de Rosa was a great editor. So he gave me my first my first chance in comics in 1985. So this year it's my 40th year anniversary in industry. 40th year, a long time ago. I'm an old guy.
Oh,
So
wow.
so in 1991, Elcio de Carvalho invited me to give him some samples. These samples you saw and you like it. So we start this conversation about to work on U.S. markets.
Many folks may not realize that Joe's work uh, in the U.S. began on a book called The Light Fantastic,
Like
which
fantastic,
is part of the
yes,
color, yeah, part of
yeah,
the Color of Magic series of novels adapted from Terry Pratchett.
yes,
And uh, although everybody sees Joe's stuff on realistic historical and educational comics now, and his many superhero books, his work back then was a very stylized, painted style. So
yes.
Joe came to us with like half a dozen different styles, and has used all of those over across the decades. So very
Oh,
different
I,
styles.
I need I
Still,
need I need to work at time. I need to work. So I need to I need to adapt to all styles, all kind of stuff, all kind of materials. So I need to be an inker. I need to be a colorist. So I did everything. Light Fantastic was a great material. Uh, was a challenge to me because was the first work to me in the U.S. Elcio de Carvalho was very obsessed with details. So he called me every night and said, "Hey, David, want more detail?" So I put more detail, and it was I have great teachers in this life of working in comics. Great teachers, David Campici and Elcio de Carvalho. Great teachers, great, amazing teachers.
Yes, David is a fantastic teacher.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
are you a fan or were you a fan of Terry Pratchett?
I never read, never read.
Okay.
I knew about I knew about Terry Pratchett doing Light Fantastic.
Okay. Fantastic.
Did you see the movie Light Fantastic? Did you see? They
I have
did.
not seen it. No.
Yes,
I've seen some of his Discworld stuff, but not
yeah.
Light Fantastic.
They did a movie about this. I saw a few 1 decade ago, and they take some ideas from my concept for the book and put on the screen. It was great.
That must have been really cool to see.
I don't know if they did
are you
see this.
very severe static and feedback on yours?
You're really breaking up, David.
Yeah, I'm hearing mainly from Joe, but it's breaking up a lot. I'm not sure what to do about that.
Can you go out and come back in? That might help.
Yeah, yours is breaking up. I presume. I don't know if mine is.
Can you go out and come back in?
I tried.
This
You guys continue.
the sound is not okay.
Yeah,
David, you need to go out and go
he's
back.
coming out. All right. So let's take a look at your portfolio. We have a
Okay.
lot of your portfolio uploaded here.
Let's.
So you started out at innovation, right?
There is some Brazilian stuff. I sent you some Brazilian stuff. My
I
early.
ran short on time. Let me upload that though.
Okay.
Oh, David's back.
Uh, your sound is not okay, man.
It's okay. Yeah, you're. I can't hear you.
What should we do?
Well, I'm going. It's up to you, but I was going forward with the portfolio. Looking over
Open.
Joe's portfolio.
I sent you a portfolio name. Joe Bennett's Art Brazilian Publisher.
Right.
Dave, your sound is not okay, bro.
Yeah, my sound is terrible on this end.
All right. So this is
Well,
work from your Brazilian.
I did a sample of Batman to show to DC Comics. I didn't know how you do this at the time, but I did this sample when I saw Tim Burton's Batman. So I did it a long time ago.
Okay, very cool. Let me bring up the next one here. I didn't get a chance to make a PDF out of this, so
Batman again.
very, very early stuff. And this is all in Portuguese, right?
Yes, Portuguese.
Okay.
It's funny. A few years ago, they did Batman 89. Do you remember this?
I do,
I
yes.
saw and said, well, I should be draw this right now. Batman was a great dream to me.
And this is from, let's see here. What's this from?
Yes,
What is this from?
This is for Brazil, 1990. Was a character I did for a publisher 35 years ago.
Very, very cool. Like Conan?
Yeah, Conan, Kazakh,
Okay. Very nice. All right.
Tarzan.
Okay, and then we have your early Marvel stuff.
Yes.
So what do you?
This is a nightmare.
Oh, the character or the
Because
job? Okay.
yeah, this this cover was a homage to Gone with the Wind poster.
Okay. Very nice. Very cool. And then we got some more
This is
stuff in Nightmare.
another cover for Nightmare. Nightmare character, not a nightmare, real nightmare. Yeah.
I love the art though.
in this time, I was very influenced by Mike Mignola.
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
Very influenced.
And then we have, is that
My
Mr. Hyde?
yeah, my first action hero from Marvel, Ravager.
Okay. Oh, Ravager. That's, yeah, I recognize it now. Yeah. Okay. Very nice.
This is a character for Nightmare.
More
Again,
Nightmare. Oh,
Nightmare.
this is
Ravager.
Ravager. Yeah. So those were your two titles that you worked on the most, right? When you first started for Marvel?
I on my start for Marvel, I did Ravager, Nightmare, and after this, I started with Spider-Man.
Okay.
Amazing, Spider-Man Unlimited.
Is it this right here?
This is my last work on Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful splash page, Mike says.
This is a cover.
I think he was
Cover.
talking about the last.
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay.
Yes, and David is having sound and internet issues. His internet went out in his house, the entire house, and the power. So he's currently trying to fix that. So Dave will be back if he can.
No worries. Well, yeah. Peter Parker. This is Peter Parker. I love to draw action, but I love to draw to people, real people. I love to draw
Facial
acting,
expressions.
acting people. I love this. Uh, it's great when you can draw people acting, talking. So in the next page, great action scene. This hold the reader.
And
Reader attention.
we were talking earlier about how modern comics focus so much on the details that they
Yeah.
forget about the action.
Yes.
And
All this is a boring. As we talk about this, it's a boring time in comics. They need to bring back the action. They need to bring back the sentiment, in my opinion.
yes, make it more cinematic.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Raven, no, we did not miss Joe's pencils. They are coming. So we have some great Spider-Man pages here, just full of action.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Oh, there's Spider-Man Unlimited. Okay.
Yeah, this is a cover. I did this 2 years before this last art you saw. This art is very influenced by John Buscema.
Okay. I'm a big John Buscema fan.
Who
Love
does?
John.
Who don't?
Yeah, I love John. I grew up reading how to draw comics the Marvel way.
Yes, yes. More Spider-Man in that action, John Buscema style.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to log David in as a guest and see if that helps.
Okay.
So let me get him a link. There we go. All right. And so after Spider-Man, what did you move on to?
What I did after Spider-Man,
Yes,
I
sir.
did a lot of things.
Right after Spider-Man.
Well, I did X-51. I did Nova or Nova. I don't know how to speak. Nova or Nova?
Nova.
Nova. I did
Yeah,
Nova.
long haul.
X-51. I did um, Captain America and Falcon. I did a lot of things, Marvel.
Let me. There we go. That should show up in just a second here. We're going to take a look at some of your early Nova work.
I did the Turtles. Yeah, Nova. Nova was a great character to me.
Oh, there's David. Okay.
Sort of.
Hello.
Hello.
So I ended up downloading the StreamYard app to sign in as a guest. So I'm a guest in my own podcast.
Well, we're just going over Joe's portfolio, his prestigious portfolio. So, do you have any stories that you wanted?
You know, my stories about Joe Bennett are very few and far between because the guy is just amazing. It's like when publishers said, "Well, we have 2 books a month for you," he said, "Bring it on." When they said, "We have 3 books a month for you," he said, "Oh, sure, Jack Kirby did it, so damn, I better do it too." So, there was a time when he was doing 3 books a month for Marvel.
Yes, it's true. But this is in the old times. Now I'm an old guy. I
Yeah.
just can handle 2 books, not 3 anymore.
Only 2 books a month.
Some artists can't even handle 2 books,
A
or can't
year.
even handle 1 book. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a
How
hard
many
worker. I'm a hard worker, and I love what I do.
how many hours a day do you draw?
How many hours? 10 hours, 8 hours. It depends of the day. Uh, Today, I work it just half day. Half a day. It means 4 hours today.
Okay. And how many pages do you get done in a day typically?
1 page and a half or 2 pages.
Okay. So yeah,
It,
you
it
have
depends. It depends of lots of things. My humor or my wife's humor too.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Yes, I know
What's
that.
astounding though is he talks about only doing a page and a half or 2 a day. But then when you study his current pencils and see the insane level of detail and all the levels he can put in, it's like, okay, he drew 3 figures in the foreground, but he's got 14 layers of background going on here. It's just his current stuff is just astounding.
It is.
The,
And
the secret for a good artist in comics is, in my opinion, you need to do what you would like to see if you were a reader. So when I open a comic book, I love to see this detail. This what is in the image right now is this that I love to see in comics: detail and action. So you need to do detail and action. This is the secret for a great comics, in my humble opinion.
So we end up with this wonderful work that's this it brings in the power of Kirby and the best of John Buscema with a lot of Jose Luis Garcia Lopez thrown in, and it's this. Uh, I love the combination.
Yes, this perfect combination to me too. Action, Jack Kirby's action, and Garcia Lopez everything. Garcia Lopez He's a genius in everything. He could draw street scene with cars, people. It's beautiful. So he could draw action scene, beautiful too. And Jack Kirby do everything beautiful too. Action scenes.
But just look at the level of work there. Wow.
This is for Alpha Core.
Yeah.
Reaper versus Alpha Core.
And I love your technique here. You don't you don't seem to use a lot of cross hatching. You stick to simple hatching. Is there a
Yes,
reason for that?
yes, yes. Well, in my 10 years, last 10 years, I focused on Nestor Redondo. Nestor Redondo was a great inker and great artist, Philippine great artist. So I learned a lot observing his style. So I tried to match his style.
Okay.
This kind of hatch, this kind of shadowing.
Very, very powerful stuff.
I love to
And
draw girls too.
David is quite fond of calling you, I believe, the best layout artist in the business, right, David?
Very true. In fact, we were talking the other day that I have a project that I want to run on Kickstarter, perhaps at the end of the year. And I asked Joe if he'd be willing to do layouts for off one of my scripts for that. And he said, yes, I'd be happy to do that. He didn't see me jumping around over here going, whoa, oh. You know, so the idea of having Joe do the layouts it'll bring a lot of life to the book. There's only about a half a dozen artists that I've worked with over the years in any capacity that I love their stuff so much that I wish they were drawing the stuff that I write. Well, Joe's one of those guys, and I'll get to see that happen. So that will be nice.
We wish there were three of you, Joe.
But he can draw like there's three of them. That's the amazing part.
So,
all right.
This is my Mayflower. This is Mayflower.
Yeah. So,
Mayflower.
although most people know his incredible superhero work at DC and at Marvel and so forth, um, Joe is equally at home doing this very realistic historical comic stuff. This is for Kingstone Comics, which is a religious publisher that's located here in Florida. They're about an hour from my Orlando office.
This is for Kingston. To me, was my latest challenge. I never worked before with historical comics. So when I started to do this project, the project is America. This is the project. Now is a paperback. It's a great material, great stuff. So when I started, I decided to do something different. I I need to do something historical, but with some action too. So I think too much to do good things. So I don't know if I happy if I get it, but this is the work.
I think you very much succeed
Thank
in
you.
this. They're static shots, they're still shots, but there's still so much emotion and so much still action in that. And you're very, very good at that.
Thank you. This is Hal Foster influence. Hal Foster. I learned a lot with Perseverance.
Yeah, when I get portfolios to review of artists from all over the world, one of the biggest problems that we come across is the artists draw everything so static. It's like they've never seen a Joe Bennett comic book. They need to. It's like, no, this is how to do it. Comics should be characters in movement, not characters frozen in space. And so there's uh, a lot of these pages that we're showing of Joe's recent work are pretty much a master class in how to draw comics. So
Absolutely.
I hope the people that are watching this and are getting a good look at these penciled pages to see what's possible.
Absolutely. And
Sure.
Joe and I were talking earlier about how modern comics have become stale, stagnant, uh,
Yes, boring, boring. Huh?
boring. Yes.
Yeah. And the shame of it is, comics should be getting better and better all the time as artists continue to learn and build on what's happened in the past. But the opposite has happened. So
Yes,
many artists entering the business now have walled themselves off from anything that's happened more than, say, 5 years ago. And so they don't even know who a lot of these people are. So
yes,
Right.
I will mention some of the absolute best guys and gals in the business from years and decades gone by, and they'll say, "Who?" They have no clue. Not being ironic, they genuinely don't know. But the problem is they don't care to know. And if you're not willing to break out of the box of the past 5 years, then there's so much knowledge that they're leaving behind because they're not willing to learn it.
yes,
Fortunately, Joe's learned from everything that he's seen and brings every bit of that knowledge to these pages.
And I asked Joe earlier, and I'd like to get your opinion on this, David. Do you feel that the current stagnation of art in modern comics is due to artists wanting to draw that way, or just knowing, that that's the style that they're emulating, or do you feel it's editors asking artists to draw that way?
I don't think any editor tells an artist to draw more boring.
Okay.
Uh, uh, I guess it's possible, but I don't
Like
see it as happening.
with
Uh,
more detail instead of more action.
well, that is the thing. Uh, One doesn't preclude the other. I mean, Joe is proving that right now. An incredible amount of detail, but all the action is there. Yeah, detail is technical. Storytelling is creative. It's whole different parts of the brain, I think. And Joe's
yes,
work is bringing it all there. The storytelling is where all the energy and power and excitement can be there. If you go back to something as simple as How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, it showed, John Buscema is showing, well, you can have a character talking like this, or a character leaning in with their hands doing this and exaggerating everything.
yes,
The problem is artists started thinking somewhere along the line that because I'm drawing more realistically than Jack Kirby or Gil Kane or John Buscema or John Romita or any of these guys, that the work had to stiffen up. And it really didn't, because the technical stuff of drawing more realistically, they could put over top of the exaggerated power storytelling that is what makes comics so visually interesting. Joe is proving that with his pages right here.
Exactly. This is the acclaimed series, The Immortal Hulk. This is
More.
a very beloved series
Oh, yeah.
here. Mainly in part because of Joe. I think so anyway.
The Eisner Award winning. Yes.
Oh, did this win an Eisner?
What?
Joe, you won an Eisner for this, didn't we?
No, no, no. I was 3 times nominated for a Eisner.
Okay.
3 times.
Eisner nominated 3 times.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, like they say, it's an honor to
could
be
you-
nominated.
How could they get it wrong? You can see this work.
I was blown away.
When Tom Briford asked it to me if I could draw horror comic, I said, "Well, I think I can do this. Give me a chance, please. Just one chance to do a great horror comic."
I was
So
blown
I,
away.
I did a
Yeah,
good one. I did a good one, I think.
My mind was blown when I first saw the artwork on Immortal Hulk. It's just so this shot right here, from what is that, from 1942 with Joe Belushi.
Joe,
Did
what
you
is this?
reference Joe Belushi here, right? Oops, wrong
Yeah,
one.
John Belushi, yes, 1941.
Yes.
1941. John Belushi, yes, you got it. I put every reference of the movies I like it, from horror movies in the 80s, 90s, like The Fly, The Blob, The Thing, all that kind of movies.
I mean, just
Alien, Alien, Predator, RoboCop, all these movies. I put
just the
everything.
heartbreaking detail here is just gorgeous. Let's see here, what else do we have here for goodies?
Don't you have a lot more of his stuff, or did you get through?
I do. No, I have it. I just have
All
to.
right. All right.
Okay, that's that. We already looked at those. Batman, Superman.
Batman and Superman, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. As David said, the action need to be together with storytelling and detail. This is the secret.
Yeah, and everything's working here.
It is. So about Kingstone Comics.
Yes.
Was it difficult for you, Joe, to do historical, to find the action where there wasn't a lot of action?
Yes, because it's a different kind of action. It's a real action. That action really happened sometimes. So the people needs to move in a realistic way, but my camera needs to be more focused in the action. So I need to concentrate a lot to do a good work and not a boring work.
Do you enjoy drawing historical scenes and old
Now,
ships?
now, yes. Before, I didn't know it, but now I love it. But ships, I always want to draw, and now I'm drawing, and I love it. I'd love to do a pirate story with David.
Well, there you go, David.
It would be great.
In my copious spare time, I will do. What I really hope to do before I'm off this mortal coil is do a Fantastic Four with Joe.
Yes, we are great fans of Fantastic Four, me and David. We could create our own Fantastic Four, David. I always said this to you.
Yeah.
You could do the Phenomenal Five.
Yeah, good name, great name, Phenomenal Five. Great name, I like it.
Yeah,
David,
sure. Why
please,
not?
please, David,
I'll
start to
start typing now.
line up the Phenomenal Five.
That and a
Phenomenal Five. Even the music.
that and a sexy pirate comic. So yeah, great art here. Just so much action and
Look that scene. Look at that scene. This is scene of Batman. He's going to down, and the other page, Superman was going to up. I like this too. This kind of
dynamic.
yes, symbolic dynamic.
Gotcha.
Superman going to up as a god, and Batman going to down as a falling angel.
I like that.
Vengeance
Mike
angel. A vengeance angel.
Mike Buckley says, "Ooh, pirate story, yes, sexy pirate story." Fantastic work here. I don't
Henry Cavill.
here.
Smooches. I love smooches.
To
Okay.
me, this is my best cover to Marvel, in my opinion.
I would agree.
I love this cover. Love this cover.
There's a lot of different things going on here, so yes, it's a great cover.
This is a great one too.
Jesus, the details.
That action pose is just straight, like right out of Kirby too. So
this scene is totally Jack Kirby. If you take off my style, you can see Jack Kirby.
agreed.
Yeah. I need to step away for a sec. Keep showing.
Okay.
Some characters, if you take off the artist style, you find Jack Kirby. You need to find Jack Kirby. If the artist don't put Jack Kirby, he's doing wrong. Some characters, Captain America is one of these characters. New Gods, Fantastic Four. You cannot do with not thinking in Jack Kirby.
Is there another artist that you look up to for action poses other than Jack Kirby?
Other artists?
Yeah, are there other artists that you like or look up to other than Jack Kirby?
Yes,
for
John
action.
Buscema. John Buscema.
Okay.
John Buscema. Gil Kane. Gil Kane is a genius. Gil Kane. Who else? Gene Steranko. Right? But Jack Kirby is the king. Jack Kirby is the best.
He's the king for a reason. So yes.
Yes. And he's still drawing good every day to me. He's still every day. He's still the great one.
Yeah, if you're not doing Kirby, you should probably go with Gil.
Oh yeah.
Gil Kane is amazing too.
Here we go. That stuff from the innovation days, the light fantastic.
Yes.
Ah, well,
Green
what is
Hornet.
it? Oh,
Green.
Green Hornet. So that
Yes.
that was the first series that you got uh, through me as Glasshouse.
Yes. Yes.
And
And my first series with my own inking.
yes. And it was interesting to me because when I left Innovation, the company I started, uh, I had no idea if Glasshouse Graphics was going to work. Um, I just knew I had to try, and it took, I think, 2 days, 2.5 days to get the first job in the door. And of course, Joe was the first guy. So
Of course.
that seemed fitting. Yeah.
And so, can you talk a little bit about Joe's evolution that you've seen, David, as an artist from
It's
when he
it's
first started?
Yeah, well, it's interesting to me because it was only later on that I saw his earliest stuff from Brazil, where it was perhaps a little rougher, but
Oops.
as I look back on it, even that was accomplished because uh, it, I look at some of Joe's work in around 1997 for Marvel. You were doing Ravage 2099, I believe.
Yep, I have
And
that
97.
too.
Not 90, 94. 94.
yeah, yeah. And that stuff was this very, I think, I can't remember if you were inking yourself on that. Um,
No, no, no.
but it
It
was a
was just Spencer.
very,
Spencer.
yeah, it was a very stark style, so different from what he was doing before or after.
Yes.
And
Yes.
there was a lot of that style in some of the earlier stuff I saw of Joe's that was published in Brazil. But everything that I got from him, even as early as 1991, was obviously very accomplished work. So, where I think Joe um, Joe's evolution came wasn't so much um, uh, 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 just it happening over time. It was him making conscious decisions. I'm going to do a different style now. I'm going to do less detail on this, a slicker style, a ton more detail. Okay, here I'm going to do high contrast. Here I'm going to do a full color painted style. And whichever one he went into, it wasn't like some artists where they might try something new and they'll struggle. It's like he came into it and he'd already mastered it, and it's like, Jesus, have you been drawing for 3 lifetimes to achieve this much?
So styles like this with heavy spot blacks, that was a conscious effort. That was a conscious in drawing, not just this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joe.
No, no. Go ahead, too, please.
No, I was going to say it was fascinating because you could, in any given month or grouping of months for Marvel, you could see that he was doing, say, this project for Marvel in this style, and in the meantime, he's drawing Spider-Man over here, and the style is much more traditional superheroes, and yet he's doing a third project, and he's chosen to go with a slightly different look on that one. So there were deliberate choices.
I,
Okay.
I I always try to do different styles to do more work. So this is my story. I did everything I did for work. I did.
All right, I'm going to get off of here for 1 minute. I should be back on my real computer.
All
The
right.
internet
Okay.
just came back on. Thank you.
All right. We will. All right. So, Joe, can you talk to our viewers about how you got started drawing?
Well, I started drawing with 5 years old. My father uh, gave to me my first comics, so I started to copy the drawings. I I became I fall in love for Jack Kirby. First time I saw, I opened it, a double page of a comics in a Thor story comic book. So I became crazy for Jack Kirby. I started to copy everything that he draw. So this was my start as a cartoonist.
Did you get a lot of work early on, or did it take a while for you to start getting professional work?
My professional work started with 17 years old in 1985. So in 1985, I sent my work for an editor in São Paulo, Franco de Rosa, and he accepted my work in a horror magazine. So my started in comics in 1985 was in a horror magazine.
I love
Uh,
that.
because this Immortal Hulk was a huge success because I started doing horror comics.
I love horror too. That's how I started, was in horror comics. So,
Horror comics is amazing. I love it.
doesn't get enough credit. All right. Anything in closing for Joe? We've had an amazing interview with him and I learned a lot.
Joe, talk a little bit about what you have upcoming, your next projects for Kingstone and so on.
Well, I have one more story to Kingston to do. Story about Lewis and Clark, a 30-page story for America Part Two, America Part One, America Part Two, and I'm working on Alpha Core 2 for Rippleverse. And waiting for Mr. Campiri to work something.
I have started on the script for our book together, and if everything goes well, I will get it done. Next month, I'm headed off to Japan for a while, about a week and a half. If I can get it done before that, I'll send it all to you then. Otherwise, I'll finish it when I get back, and then I can't wait to see what you're going to do with that.
Okay, my friend. Okay, I'll be here waiting for you.
And I'll talk more about. Got a question here, Joe. Are you traditionally inking over your own pencils or digital inking?
Well,
Joe,
my
yeah.
my inkers, I have two inkers right now. Fábio Jansen is one inker, and Jean Cardoso is another inker. They work in traditional inks with pen and brush.
And remember, I've talked about in past podcasts here about how all these artists are working digitally. And so there's an entire group of artists or an entire generation of readers and fans who aren't going to be able to collect originals. Well, Joe Bennett's still doing physical original artwork. So that stuff is still collectible. Joe,
I love the original.
yeah.
All this original stuff.
do you want to tell them yeah, Joe, can you tell them who to reach out to for your that is your art dealer, so they can buy originals of your work?
Yes, my art dealer is David Wilkins. You can find original pages and commission requests for jadegiant.com.
jadegiant.com.
And if you missed that, then you can always write to me and I can get it forwarded. I'm easy to reach, David at glasshousegraphics.com. So, Joe has been doing some absolutely amazing commissions for people. And so if you want a Joe Bennett commission, write us and we'll make sure that happens.
Okay.
So you can go to jadegiant.com for original art. And if you find you're looking not productive there, you can contact David at glasshousegraphics.com.
Yes.
Happy to help and get a piece of amazing Joe Bennett artwork into your hands. Joe, thank you for keeping traditional comics alive.
My friend, give me a hug.
Oh, can't
Someday
wait.
I'll give you a hug in person.
Sometime in the next year, my friend.
Good night to you, my friend. Good night to you too, Chris.
Thank you so much
Good
for
night. It's so good meeting you, Joe. Good night.
That was wonderful, despite all the technical problems. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get online at all. And then I thought, okay, I can do this through my phone through 5G and see how it goes. And at least we managed to squeak on through.
Yes, we did. All right. Do we want to move to some portfolio reviews?
Sure.
All right. Let me remove the other ones that I have here so I can upload the others.
Okay.
Because you can only do so many at a time. So.
Oh, I know. They may not know. But...
And we will get to portfolio reviews.
All right. So what we have, let me see if I can pull up some notes, because I'm actually made notes this week. Isn't that sweet? I've been winging it to a lot, but I figured I wanted to do some a bit more here. So I think we have a little bit of line art to review and a little bit of color.
Yes. It's uploading right now.
All right. Whichever one we pull up first.
And I will say that the artists that we did review last episode greatly appreciated your observations and your reviews.
Okay. Good to hear.
All right.
All right. So what do we have this week? I sent you a bunch of stuff. I don't even remember what we picked for this week.
Let's see here. We got a sample script for Wonder Woman.
Yes, this is a script that is available on my website, glasshousegraphics.com. You can click on that submissions link, and you can go to art submissions, and you can find, I think it's 9 different sample plots and scripts, each done in a slightly different style, because that's how you get them in real life. Not every writer writes the same type of plot or script.
Raven was going to jump in on the portfolio stuff if you couldn't come back, David.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Okay, we can take a quick look at the Wonder Woman stuff here. I liked what this artist did for the layout here. The first page was to establish with a thing with Wonder Woman that's the same as the version of Superman I like to see, that they are characters that kids would run up to wanting to hug, wanting an autograph, wanting to be seen with. not somebody that's going to scare them away. You wouldn't come
Right.
up and want to hug the current version of Batman.
Exactly. Or even necessarily Superman, like the Henry
Yeah.
Cavill Superman. So
Yeah, as interesting as that was, that's not the Superman that I want to see. It's not the Wonder Woman I want to see. Let's go back. You jumped ahead on me here.
oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. So this first page establishes that she's out on a street and kids are wanting autographs. So she doesn't look down to them. She bends down to be at their level, and the kids are just thrilled to pieces. Meteor comes from the sky. She sees it. She goes up to get it. The only comment I had for the artist on this page, because I knew he wasn't going to draw this chibi thing that he did in the bottom. That's him just laying in figures. I don't really like panels that are insets that way when there's no great reason to do it. Those should just be regular panels with gutters between them, not inset that way, which just feels wrong to me.
Okay.
There's not a good storytelling reason to do it.
So you're not a fan of reaction panels like this?
No. Those were written into the plot, but
Okay.
those are insets. A regular panels there's 2 lines around them. There's gutters around them. These are just inset into the larger panels, and I'm not a fan of that.
Okay.
Here, I thought he didn't quite get what we were trying. The plot describes Wonder Woman's in the sky trying to stop the meteor, smashing back. She smashed into the ground and is trying to just pull her way through. I wasn't clear how it would smash into her frontwards, but yet she's crawling out with her back facing it. It's like, how did she turn around under it? If there was enough space to turn around under it, wasn't there enough space for her to get out?
Exactly.
By having in the bottom 2 panels 2 shots of Supergirl from the same angle, flying in and then trying to help Wonder Woman out, it seems awkward. It's like the first of those 2 bottom panels should be a completely different angle, so we establish the whole scene, see where Supergirl is coming in compared to where everything else is, so that it's clearer that she's coming down to help Wonder Woman and then reaches out to her in the next panel. Okay. This was supposed to be a big action sequence that wasn't as big an action as I felt it could be. And we kind of missed the point in the bottom one. What had been described in the plot was Superman's hand reaching in from off panel, touching her shoulder.
Okay.
And so we aren't to see his expression yet because he hasn't seen her face yet. And she has this glowing thing going on because whatever was in the meteor is possessing her. So we kind of lose that the way it was staged. And then this was supposed to be the big scene where it was described in the plot as she slugs Superman. He staggers back, but he doesn't hit her. I don't know where that came from. It wasn't in the script. And she reacts in the 3rd panel and then is supposed to go crashing out of whatever warehouse she was in. And I thought by making 4 equal-sized panels, we lost a lot of the power that could have been in it. And I think we have an example of this page done better. I don't know if we have that load. There we go. There's a better version of that same page. Flip back.
Is this by a different artist, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. That's an artist just starting out. And then go to the next one. That's Mike Diodato just starting out.
Of course.
That was actually one of the sample pages that got him the Wonder Woman job.
Yeah.
But you can just see in terms of the level of energy, the power, the 4 feet apart on Superman and on Wonder Woman, the level of energy and excitement there is just several levels better than what was in the previous version.
Yes.
So that's the difference of somebody comes in with accomplished skills, and what somebody like this guy would need to aspire to. I'm not saying duplicate the style. I'm not even saying duplicate the storytelling, but come in their own way with the energy and excitement that needs to be there, because after all, this is supposed to be an action scene in a superhero book.
Yes. 100%.
So that's the difference.
Okay.
All right, what else that's a
so
completely out of order here.
there.
All right, this is a sample of color. Did you get the line art that I sent you
I did.
to put up? Can you put that
It's
up?
here. Yep, I can put that up. Nope, not a problem. I didn't get a chance to put it in order, but it is here.
We can back and forth. All right, this is last week we showed some cover work that was being designed. In weeks 1 and 2, cover work that was being designed by Joe Bennett, by some other artists for this Hot Wings project, and this was a tryout for an interior page, and this was supposed to be a night scene with this blue female angel that is supposed to be trying to fly away, escape from these this government group that is trying to capture her. So they're firing these things that will wrap around her and pull her down. This is supposed to be night, so they're all these vehicles were supposed to be out with their lights on and to spot her and so forth. And the color that we got from the colorist, there we go, I thought was good, but not great. It really didn't take advantage of what should have been there. This is, let me look at my notes here. Okay, so this angel was supposed to be blue, but the colorist elected to color her more aqua. So to me, she seems more like an undersea creature. It's like, okay, she's swimming away in the sky. I don't quite get it. She didn't come across as just blue. I didn't think the environment was thought about enough. It's night, but where are the lights? The SUVs and armored vehicles should all have their brightest lights on. There's even that small vehicle in the center of the page that's an oval spotlight that's supposed to be blazing up to illuminate her. But none of those lights are on trying to see the angels. It's strange. And if those lights were being correctly used in the color, it would change the entire color scheme here. She would be backlit and all sorts of other things. So I really thought he missed the mark for what should have been there.
Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
What's more, I didn't think that that anything at all was really done with the wings. I sent an example. If you can find the example, yeah, I sent this and a couple of others. No, that's not it. There we go. Saying, if her wings were backlit, maybe they'd be a little more like this. There's even another. There we go. More like this to give it this ethereal, angelic quality that was just completely missing the way he had colored it.
Oops. Sorry. Hold on. I accidentally went full screen.
All right, let's go back to, there we go. So you see where it's looked like the colorist took the easy way out. It wasn't the best way to do the wings, but it was easy. But if he rethinks the color and puts the spotlights on her and all this, then he can do a lot more with the wings. So it could be a lot better page than it actually is currently. Let's go to the next one.
You want the line art, right?
Yes. Okay, we can do that one. This is supposed to be, let me pull up my notes here. This is supposed to be basically a female devil that's erupting out of the ground in Las Vegas at night. And I really wanted the feel of not only her being demonic, but this being lava that is spewing up. So what the colorist gave us wasn't bad. This is the same colorist on all 3 pages I'm showing here. It wasn't bad, but I thought more could be done. I thought her skin could be better rendered out with a little more muscle tone and maybe fewer hard lines. The hair should have given the impression that it was on fire, a lot of yellows and reds and so forth. I don't know where the black hair came from. It should have been like streams of flames just coming off her head.
And you were very clear about that, right?
Yeah, and it's in the script that way. And then I said the nipple rings and armor should stand out more because it's all just kind of lost. They blend in too much. And coloring the bat wings as these dark bat wings, okay, that was an okay choice, but that's not what bat wings really look like. Somewhere there we go.
We're going to get to
Bat wing, right? So done like that, they would probably be a lot more cool looking.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
so
also translucent, so a little see-through.
And so I ended up sending the artist this reference and said, okay, take a look at what this is. Try to give it another try. And I'm waiting to see if he's going to respond with this. Also, you were showing some lava there. And we see that lava has a lot of white and yellow in it because it is so very hot. And so it's like when he was coloring the lava as just this orange red, there it is. I don't know, did she spill a slushy? I don't know. It just didn't come across as lava. So
exactly.
Taking a look at reference, and there's so much of it online. You can find reference for everything that can inspire you to do something a bit better. So again, I'm waiting to see what it's going to be. All right, this 3rd page. So again, this is all taking place the same night, and the story is about a group of women who end up being physically and emotionally damaged, that basically are given a second chance by becoming literal angels. They're given an infusion of a serum taken from the blue angel that we saw at the beginning. And this one, and the absolute worst life choices anybody could make. Situation here. So this is night. The police car is running. It should have had its high beams on, or at least the regular headlights. And in the color, we really got none of that. There we go. I mean, this was well enough colored, but I thought he missed out by not doing the light effect, and he could have done more with the highlights from the spotlight. He could have more emphasized the pistol that she had dropped, which just kind of ends up blending in. in the third panel there. The way the color style we're trying to establish here has a lot fewer hard lines and more soft muscle tone and lines done. The way the colorists have been coloring my wife Jinky's work on Bonsai Girl and Exposure and things like that. Wanted to use sort of that same color sense, and the colorist had that reference, but just didn't follow it here. So sent them some notes, and I'm hoping to see something better with their second pass on it. And if they do it right, they're going to get the job. Because I think they have a pretty good color sense. It's just this colorist doesn't think out all the possibilities for how to do it better. It's like
everything is locally colored.
Not the best way.
Right. Everything is locally colored. Yeah. There's no real good eye towards lighting.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And I agree with Raven's notes here. All right, what else do we have tonight?
Yeah, he said that the colorist didn't do a good job on creating depth with the mini demons either.
Yeah.
So, right. All right, we have our next set here.
I think this is a sequence of pencils.
It is.
That we got from someone. And this is more typical of what I tend to get in a given week. And I get a lot of this sort of thing. Let's see what we have. Oh, no, not this one. This one I just got. And I thought the actual drawing was pretty good. Flip through these. There's like 4 or 5 pages of these. It seems that the drawing is solid enough, but it seems to be married to photo reference. Go back to the first couple. And, I would prefer, rather than a character just frozen there posing, or these characters in panels 3 and 4 just posing, or okay, go to the next page like you had.
Sorry.
Yeah. Even in this one that's supposed to be an action shot, it's really kind of stiff. And the shots of the animal are all stiff. The shot of her caressing the animal in the last panel, it's stiff. It feels like it's over photo referenced. Joe Bennett showed you earlier in our show tonight how to do photo reference or very realistic stuff, but still put so much power and excitement in it. This doesn't have the power and excitement there. So what it's missing is the essence of the storytelling to give it the energy that it needs. I think this same artist drawing like this over far more powerful, energetic layouts would give us some wonderful stuff. There's also basic storytelling things that he does. Like up in the first panel, you see that she's kicking with her left leg. Her head is in panel 2, which is fine because that will naturally lead the reader into panel 2. But then her foot is in panel 3. So if I follow that down, it almost makes me want to skip panel 2 completely. What's more, her spear goes into panel 4. So what does the artist want us to read next? Panel 2, panel 4, panel 3? It confuses us. If a figure goes out of the panel, it's always best if the figure is going out of the panel into the next panel that you want the reader to see. The last problem is he's confusing heavy blacks with detail. If you look here, it's like there's so much going on that by the time you add colors to this, it's just going to just seem too heavy. There's so much that could be left as outline. There's so much that could be, I think, other choices, unless he's intending to draw this for black and white. Even then, I'd like to see more division of planes. So stuff in the background maybe has less black than the stuff in the foreground, so that we get the sense of space. And if this is taking place in the jungle, then there's layers and layers and layers of depth there that we're not seeing because it's all so much black. Next page.
Mike wonders what the script looked like.
I have no idea. The artist did not include a script, and it wasn't one that they asked for from us. So as you could see from this, probably panel 2 is probably a character talking with her mouth closed. There's a bit too much stiffness in the other panels. So I got the feeling that the bottom right panel is probably a swipe from Wonder Woman somewhere.
It looks like it.
There's also the thing of elements connecting. If you look in panel 3 where she's holding the staff, and then you look at the gun that's in panel 4, it's almost like they connect between the panels. We really should see shots like that. There are ways to stage those things differently so they don't make that bit of visual confusion.
Yeah, very bad tangent.
Yeah. And this page, now on my screen, I don't know how anybody else is seeing it. On my screen, I'm seeing it about the size of a trading card as we're talking. So I'm leaning in trying to look at it, and there is so much black. There's so much there that it's just overwhelming the whole page that I kind of lost track of what's happening there. What am I supposed to look at first? What am I supposed to look at second? There's something called eye flow, where in every panel of every page, the artist sets up what you want the reader to look at as he looks across and then over and all the way through the page. In the version of Stan Lee's How to Draw Comics that I wrote, I do a whole section on the reader's eye flow. And that prevents this stuff from getting too visually confusing, or as Raven said, too much of a blotch.
Right. And understandably, this is black and white. And so it's up to the line artist to lead the eye of the viewer, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But do you feel that a lot of line artists leave it up to the colorist, or think, oh, the colorist will fix that when it comes to visually being able to lead the eye through the pages?
No, a colorist should never have to fix anything. A colorist can tell from clues in the artwork, oh, he didn't really spot blacks, so they're wanting me to drop in dark colors where he has the highlight line. Stuff like that, we understand. But the artist should be setting up the different levels of depth in the artwork. So it shouldn't be lost here and left up to the colorist to try to fix. There is so much black on these pages that I would be led to believe this was drawn for a black and white comic. But even then, it's kind of too much. I'm overwhelmed by this page.
Agreed.
It's like he got heavier and heavier as he went along, and he started heavy. So he could do more. I would be interested in seeing what a line, what this looked like without the heavy blacks. So I don't know if he inked it digitally or not. Maybe there's a way he can do that, separate it, and then we could take a look from scratch. But even so, I would like to see stronger, better storytelling than what we have on these pages.
Right. And the artist typically... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, David. Go ahead.
This artist has potential, but I don't know if anybody's pointed out the stuff that I'm pointing out to him now.
Right.
So
they need to keep in mind that the comic potentially is going to be viewed at this size when it comes to all the black and everything that they're putting into the page as well.
Yeah. Well, if the artist is that intent upon putting heavy blacks, that is fine. But he needs to decide where is the most judicious use of those blacks. So if he's going to heavy black the figures in panel 1 here, it might have made more sense to just leave all the trees and so forth in the background as just outlines. Let the colorist deal with that, or figure out some other technique so it's not black on black on black and it looks like there's only 3 levels of depth there.
Right. Exactly.
So it could be a lot better. So what I'm saying is he has a lot of talent. I want to see what he could do, putting better, stronger storytelling on this stuff, and then being more careful where he spots blacks. It's like, all right, is putting all this black in telling the story any better? Or is it just putting in black for its own sake? So, yeah. Raymond, I would very much like to see him go in with if he worked from a script here, and try redoing this with more powerful storytelling and trying to redraw this without putting in so many blacks. But
and he's saying that there's no consistent light sources either.
Yeah, it's like he's, as I say, putting in black for its own sake.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that pretty well covers this one. He could do better if he follows what we talk about here.
That is all you sent me?
That is plenty for tonight, because we are already at basically an hour and a half.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, getting to know Joe. I'm sorry.
Joe Bennett.
Joe Bennett. I had a brain fart there. Getting to know Joe Bennett and hearing his tales and his stories and his first English interview. So that's a bit of a milestone there as well. What are we looking?
We apologize for this week being so glitchy. We went the first 45 minutes with me with no internet, maybe more than that. But we soldiered through, thanks to Chris and thanks to Joe. As far as next week, we are still trying to work out schedules. We know Cliff Richards, an artist that many will know from his many years on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, will be joining us either next week or the week after. We also have a few others that we're talking to, writers as well as artists. And we're just trying to line up everybody to see who can best do the schedule, because we may do some live and we may do some as recorded interviews to better accommodate schedules, because some of the artists are clear on the other side of the world, so their time difference may not accommodate our schedule, so we will accommodate theirs.
Exactly. And yeah, we're even looking at getting some colorists in here as well. So are you looking at inkers too? Or?
I am pencilers, inkers, colorists. I even want to get a couple of letterers in here as time goes on, with everybody talking about their craft. And I am hoping that as any of them have time, they'll be able to do live sketches or chalk talks or whatever you want to call it, so that they can teach as we go. And I think some folks will be very interested in seeing and hearing that.
All right. Well, thank you again for everyone tuning in. And if you would like to submit a portfolio to review, you can send that to David at glasshousegraphics.com.
Yep.
You can send it to me as well at ghthrowingstones@gmail.com. the official email of the Throwing Stones podcast. And we look forward to talking to you next episode.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for showing up and coming.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Back